Welcome to Wisdom Channel. Today we are going to discuss about the cloud skilling workshop series 1. We are going to get some skills in cloud technologies. Cloud becoming the latest trend in technology, so it is very mandate for everyone to have some skills on cloud as we move to the latest trend, that is digital transformation. So today our skill is going to be based on how we can use Microsoft Azure as a cloud technology. So let us get into it. What is cloud computing? Computing is the delivery of computing service, including servers, storages, databases, networking, software analytics, and intelligence over the internet to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. So, what is cloud computing in a nutshell is that some organization runs all the services for you and you use them as a service as you pay as you go. So, you don't need to have your own servers, you don't need to have your storages, you don't need to have your databases running. They all run on in one organization as a cloud servicer, a service providing technology or providers, cloud service providers, so that you can access them as you pay as you go. So you can just use the services. So you can access it from anywhere, everywhere. That is the main concept of cloud computing. There are some top benefits of cloud computing. As you can see, cloud computing is a big shift from traditional way of business that thinks about IT resources. So here are some reasons that organizations are turning to cloud computing services. So basically, most organizations are now planning to move from their traditional way of IT infrastructure to the new ways that, as we can see here, right? So we have to talk about the cost, as this cloud computing can completely eliminate the cost of setting up your own infrastructure. You can just make them to be running somewhere from for the things that you need. You don't need to spend on an expensive hardware which you may use it sometime, which you may not use it. In such cases, that can be avoided. So the next is about the speed, how soon you can set up your infrastructure. Basically, your infrastructure may need some you need to take the server room, trying to put up the servers, installing the operating systems, right, getting them configured ready. So you don't need to worry about anything here. Just you say that I need this service, and that service is ready for you in minutes. Then about the performance, the biggest cloud computing service runs on a worldwide network of secure data centers which are regularly upgraded to the latest generations, as you don't need to worry about the latest trends in hardware, because when an organization wants a hardware, right, they have to stay with it for some time until they go for another upgrade. But here what happens in this case is, when you are trying to access it from the data centers, they are accessing it over from the global. So you also have access to the latest trend in technologies, latest access to the hardware as you move to the new technologies. So reliability, you don't need to worry about backup, storage, disaster recovery, business continuity, and everything. When it's coming to the cloud, the most organizations prefer cloud only for disaster recovery and business continuity. So it runs in the cloud as it can be accessed from anywhere and everywhere around the clock. You don't need to worry about it because they run different data centers. If their data centers goes off, they can run them again in another, right? And the next is important is the security. As I have mentioned, security is something like what we can call it as it the data centers who runs these cloud technologies provides a good security policies, and it protects your data, your apps and infrastructure, so you don't need to get into those things of worrying about security. Then today, basically we are going to learn our cloud technology using a product called Azure. Azure is a product of Microsoft, who is the leading providers in cloud technologies in recent days, and they have almost 200 plus products and solutions for you to have ensure with cloud technologies. So you have almost all answers for your cloud products. So in this case, that today our workshop is going to be starting with how we can access Microsoft Azure and create virtual machines or create a cloud computing machines which you can access it from everywhere. So let us get into that. So as it is a cloud providing technology, we need to access them over the cloud. So I need to open the browser. I need to open the browser. So, and I get into the website called portal.azure.com. So you may provide credentials to log in. So it is already logged in. In this case, that you are supposed to log in using your Microsoft account. So this is your basic thing on how we can have your virtual machines ready, right? So this is so the next thing that we are going to do is today in our workshop I'm going to show you how we can create a virtual machines and get them ready, and how we can access them, how soon we can access them. So let's drop down this button here. So go to virtual machines. Already we have a virtual machine here, so we try to create another virtual machine. So when you're having these virtual machines, this is the form that you need to submit about the latest informations. So when it comes to so let us begin creating a virtual machine. The first thing in creating a virtual machine is your subscription. So I'm using a free trial. So even you can ask for, you guys can ask for Azure, because Azure is most favoring the students community to get them learn. So we can use one of it. Then you can create a new resource group where all your machines are going to be running. So let me give a name for your resource group as Wisdom 2. So it's asking what is the name of your machine that you want to create. I say Wisdom Windows 10. That's the name of a machine. It's asking in which region you want to run this. So based on your locations, you can run them to have the closest latency covered, right? So it's asking what operating system you want to run. You can use any operating systems, as you can see here. Then you can also choose the size of your hardware. What is the size of the hardware you want, and everything you can use it here, right? Basically based on that you have been cost. So today we are going with the basic configurations that you are going to have two CPUs with 8 GB RAM of a machine, right? So we need to create a user account. So I can say wisdom admin, and the password is admin at 123456 for you, for us to access it. Basically this is a common password most admins uses, right? So it is asking that whether you want to have your RDP license, right? RDP to be accessed over the machine, yes. There's nothing else from here. And say next disk. So already it comes with a basic disk. In case that if you want to add another disk, you can add them, and you can use this. You can change the size. Change the size. Maybe say I need another 128 GB disk. So you got another. It comes with its own operating system disk. Along with that, you're adding another 128 GB disk. Then see next. This is about your IP addresses. As you mentioned here, you are allowing. So I was talking about security. So all your ports are closed. You are open only with the remote desktop port. So you are trying to improve the hardening of your operating system. Then there's another thing that once we are done with this, you can simply say review and create. So what happens in this case is it just gives us a review that you are going to install a Windows 10 machine, and with this operating systems and everything, right? So we can see here about the operating system, uh, the port numbers which is opened and everything. You have another disk, your IP addresses and everything, right? So once we are done with this and we are okay with your creations, right, we can just say create. As we wait for the deployment to happen, the deployment can happen in a couple of minutes. As you can see them here, as you are submitting the deployment, right, in a course of time your machine should be ready. That is deployment in progress. Once the deployment in progress, as I can just explain you, this machine can be created in a couple of minutes, as I told, can be accessed from anywhere, even using your tablets, iPads, your phones. You can access this machine. How good it looks when you can access a Windows 10 machine which is running in the cloud, and which I can able to access it from anywhere. As long as you have internet, a good or stable internet, right, you can access this machine from anywhere, everywhere. So when it comes to the computers, we have to use an application to access called remote desktop. When it is also coming to Android and iOS, you can still use those applications. An example I can give you is if I need to run Adobe Photoshop, is it possible for me to run it on my tablet or a machine which cannot? I'm having a machine which cannot run an Adobe Photoshop. Yes, it is very possible in recent days, as you can have such a machine running in the cloud. You can access it over the remote desktop. You can install it, because those machines what you're creating is going to be a good machine with a good configuration, so you can do it. So basically the machine that we are creating in the cloud can be accessed from any device, anywhere, everywhere, so that it will be helping you to run your day-to-day applications easily. So let us get into see that if my machine is ready. That machine, yes, it is ready. Maybe this is Windows 10, the one which we created. Yes, this machine is ready here. As you can see, this is the public IP that we need to access this machine. You need to have a copy of this IP, because whenever you need to access this machine, you need to use this IP address, as you can see here. So now in Windows machine, we use an application called remote desktop. Then you paste it, the IP address here, right? Then you can connect it. So now you are connected to the machine. As we know, the username and password, of that machine is wisdom admin at 123456. As we connected to the remote desktop of that machine, you are going to gain access to the remote desktop of Windows 10 machine, as you can see here. So you should be knowing that how quick you can run this Windows 10, and you should also compare that in case if you need to have a Windows 10 machine ready to maybe to research about certain applications of Photoshop, right? How soon it takes you to have this machine ready is that you need to compare it with how soon you can have that machine ready with the cloud, how fast you have made it using the cloud. So basically what we are trying to achieve here is flexibility, scalability. So this particular machine, that is Windows 10, that it is been getting loaded, can be run in the cloud. As long as you know its IP, username and password, you can access it from anywhere and do your day-to-day job. You don't need to carry your computer anywhere. Just by using your phones, you can access it. As you can see, your Windows 10 machine here, as it's working here, right? It is a normal machine, and as long as you have a stable internet, right, it will be giving you an idea of that you are running a normal operating system. uh, that's all for the today's series, as we learned that how we can access to the Microsoft Azure portal, and we could able to create a virtual machine with the basic configurations, and we also discussed about how we can access them over the remote desktop. Once again, thank you for your time. Today, what we have discussed about is to have a virtual machine ready in the cloud. We will be having a different series coming up to have much technologies in the cloud. Stay tuned. Stay tuned on the YouTube channel. Subscribe the channel for the updates, and please share the information with others to have their technology learned. Otherwise, thank you for your time. Have a good luck on your career. Any questions or any comments, you can post it so that it shall be answered. Thank you.